So I'm hoping this works. I'm on my phone and I have to remember to look here, not at the screen. But I decided to make my first YouTube video. So that's cool. What else to do in quarantine, I think, is the real question. So I thought I would do kind of maybe like a basic video in just doing my current tarot and oracle collection. I'm going to combine the two because I don't have a huge collection as of right now. I do have a bunch of new decks coming in because it's, you know, quarantine, and what else is there to do than just to peruse the internet and purchase more decks to add to your collection. That's what I've been doing mostly. So I'm going to go through all my tarot decks and my oracle decks and just kind of show what I got. I have a lot of the things that a lot of other people might have. I guess I would consider myself more of like a basic tarot enthusiast, I guess. I didn't start really delving into tarot, I think, until maybe about like a year, almost 2 years ago. So I think with only starting maybe 2 years, I still have maybe a decent amount of a collection. But a lot of them is pretty basic or mass market. A lot of them actually are all of them, looking at them, are pretty much mass market editions of decks. So I don't really have anything, not yet. I backed 2 decks on Kickstarter recently, so they're obviously not going to be coming until later, so that was really exciting. Can't wait to get those decks in my hands to touch them and things like that. And I apologize for my hands in advance. You know, with all the COVID stuff and having to wash your hands excessively, and I'm a dog walker, so I wash my hands excessively anyway. So having to do that and then hand sanitizer on top of it, my hands are just, they're not thriving right now. So apologize for those in advance. But yeah, I'll start with my first ever tarot deck that I ever purchased. And that is the Wild Unknown Tarot. So I purchased this one for my birthday. It was actually this deck, seeing this deck like on the interwebs and stuff like that, was really what got me interested in tarot. I never really knew much about it or never really heard much about it just because I didn't know anyone around me that was into tarot or interested or anything like that. So I didn't really get into it. I could have probably gotten into it a lot earlier because Kim Krans' deck is what like drew me into it. Her artwork and art style is one of my favorites. I love the splash of color, kind of the watercolor-esque of it. So I'm not going to go too much into this deck, and probably not into a lot of my decks just because they are mass market editions primarily, so a lot of people have had them or have seen them and things like that. So these aren't really ones that you know probably haven't seen, and these are kind of upside down a little bit. I personally don't read reversals. Just because I'm still somewhat new to tarot, so I kind of have to stick to one way for a little bit, and then, I mean, I wouldn't mind probably adding, kind of doing reversals into my readings, but I just haven't done that yet. So yeah, so I mean, this is, you know, the mass market edition. I really love the pop of color that comes in this deck. So this was the first ever one I purchased. It's one of those things that you think that you can just read this kind of a deck right off the bat. and that is not the case. So I didn't read with it for a while just because I wanted to get the fundamentals down, fundamentals of tarot down. I really like her guidebook as well, so I'll just put that aside. I guess I'll group them in by person because I kind of have quite a few, maybe by like the same person at least, because I have Kim Krans' other one, her animal spirit, kind of, I guess, oracle deck. So like I said, I have the mass market edition as well. This one I haven't used a whole lot. I don't really have any animal. This is really like my only animal based deck that I have, and I don't really resonate with a lot of the animal decks out there. Just nothing has really like kind of drew me in just yet, but I love Kim Krans' art style, so that's why I have this, because it's, you know, the watercolor, the black, like kind of the darkness with light. I really like this, and you know, I'm not going to go too much into it just because this is a very well-known deck. Kim Krans is very well known in the tarot community, so I'm not going to go too in depth with that either. But yeah, so like I said, I don't really work with this one quite as much. I primarily leave it in the box because I love her art style. I think maybe once I kind of delve into or work with other, maybe find an animal tarot deck and kind of put this with it, or work with them both in tandem, that might work. But I just haven't found one that kind of speaks to me just yet. So I will be waiting for that. And plus, I don't think there's any like tarot deck that has, any tarot deck that has like a hippo. So hippos, otters, so I love that that has an otter in it. Hippos and otters are like my favorite animals, and then I really resonate with cardinals, which is my tarot Instagram name is Cardinal Tarot. I see it as like a sign, because once I moved away from home, after my dad passed away, I would see, and I'm from the state that cardinals, the state birds, so you would think I would see them more often, but I didn't really notice them or see them, maybe not as presently, until I moved away from home and I was living on my own for the first time, and I would just see cardinals just everywhere. Like I lived in kind of like a wooded area. My apartment's kind of like, felt like I was in like a campground type thing, but it wasn't. And so yeah, it was just, I'm drawn to cardinals. So those are really, it's also kind of funny because I'm also afraid of birds. So, you know, just, it's a very, very weird thing. So I don't really know how to also explain it. My next decks I'm going to show you are all different Rider-Waite Smith decks. This is the one, these are the ones that, well, this deck, this is the original Rider-Waite Tarot, is the one that has the blue backs. I don't have the plaid ones, so don't need that card, but I have these. There's obviously so many variations, and I have quite a few different variations. I have a couple, I guess a few, different variations of the Rider-Waite Smith decks, but I like this one, I think, because it's very, it has like the vintage, it's muted colors, it's easy to work with in the sense of especially learning. So this is the one this is the deck I primarily use to learn, just the system wise, and none of these are upright. So yeah, so I like this one because it's more muted colors, and whatnot. Shuffles really well. I don't riffle shuffle just because I have long fingers but small hands, so I guess it just doesn't really work well for me. So I do hand over hand, and this just really shuffles really well. But yes, so I have that version of the Rider-Waite Smith. I have one of my favorite versions is the Golden Universal Tarot. This is from Gabrielle, and I think I saw someone on YouTube, because obviously this would be like my first, so I got the Krans, the Wild Unknown Tarot first, and then I was like, no, I should probably learn the actual kind of the foundational system of it. So then I picked this one up and just learned from that. And then there's two different YouTubers I saw. I know the Cackling Moon, so Rose from the Cackling Moon, I follow her on Instagram, and I also follow her YouTube channel. She did a video of all her different Rider-Waite decks, clones, and things like that. I don't know if she had this one in here or if I saw someone else, so I kind of delved more into, there's different variations and kind of ones that maybe I'm more drawn to. And the Golden Universal was definitely one that I was more drawn to. I love, it's very eye-catching, and I think I like that. It's one of those things you see something shiny and you're like, oh, okay. But I mean, it has the same imagery, so it's also one that was more helpful for me to use to learn, because it has the same imagery, it's just shiny. So yeah, so I really love this version. I've used it, as you can kind of see on the sides. I sometimes just grab it and I just shuffle it, just because this cardstock, I'm not much about cardstock. I honestly don't really know much about it, but it fans really well. It just feels really well in my hands. So I like to shuffle it quite a bit, and they are they're slimmer than I think most tarot decks, I guess. And so I can grip them a little bit better, and then shuffling them is just, I can sit here and just shuffle these cards for forever. So I really love the Golden Universal. It's one of my favorites. That I have. That's the Rider-Waite. The next one I have is the Albano Waite Tarot. I don't know why I said albino. It's so funny because I was talking about how like the original one has muted colors. This one is the exact opposite of that. It's more of like, and this one's still in order. I have not actually used it at all, but this is more of like, colors are in your face. Very saturated, very bright. I do like that green though. It's like it's a pretty green. So this is very much in your face. That green is very much in your face. But I like this. It's just kind of like a fun little different deck to have. It's kind of like a summer colors if you want something to pop. So I have that one. The next one I have that I love, I actually got this secondhand. A lot of them I got, there's only 5 different decks, some Oracle, some mostly Tarot, that are secondhand. That's a great way, I think, for new people, if you're wanting to get into Tarot, if you don't want to go out and buy a whole new deck. There are ways that you can purchase decks, gently used decks online. And that's what I did with the Smith-Waite Centennial deck. I love this one. I want to get the borderless version as well as the one in the tin. So I'm kind of like also slowly, getting a bunch of different clones of the Rider-Waite Smith, but it has those pretty green backgrounds. Like I said, this is another mass market edition, so it's very vintage and muted, which I also really enjoy. But like I said, it's a mass market, so I'm not going to go into full-on detail of it, but I do like the vintage muted colors. And mine actually came with the kind of the extra cards, or like the extra art cards from Pamela Coleman Smith. So, and then that's the cover of the box. So that's kind of cool as well. And then the last Rider-Waite one, I think I want to give this, I want to like rehome this. So this is the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. It's low scare bill, but it comes in the nicest box ever. It's like the top box thing, but you know, most of them come in like their tuck boxes. So this one comes in that box and has a really chunky guidebook. Most of them are just the little white books. Has these backs, very glossy. These are borderless, but I don't, and it's the Rider-Waite Smith imagery, but I don't really connect with it. It looks like the Radiant, I think it's well, it does say Radiant Wise. So I think it's like that Radiant, like the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot like art. It just looks very curt. I just don't like it. It just doesn't resonate with me. And this isn't, I guess when it's one of those things you look at it online, and I didn't really do, I'll do like a tip video on like newbies if you're wanting to like look for a deck or whatever, you know, to find videos online first of people unboxing them. Because sometimes the photos online, because I got this one off of Amazon, and the photos that either the Amazon had or people who did reviews had, it made it look different. So I thought it was something different, and then when I got it and I opened it and I looked at them, I was like, it's not really my thing. So I'll probably try to rehome this one, because I've never shuffled it. It's still in order. I just opened it, looked through the cards, and I was just like, it's not for me. So then the next one I have is this one. I also got secondhand. The box, I think when the person I purchased it from, the box was already damaged, and then when it came to me, it was more damaged. I don't know, but the cards are still in great condition, and that's all I care about. This is the Luna Soul Tarot by Medaglia. This is the Mike. Oh gosh, Medaglia. Listen, I have a really tough first name and last name, so you would think I would be better at pronouncing other people's names, because my name is really hard for people to pronounce or to, you know, whatever. But I'm not. So it comes with this. Yeah. So this one is the Rider-Waite Smith, kind of based a little bit. It's very pastel colors, and I really love it because it has other people of color and things like that, so it's not necessarily white people, which is really great. You know, it's nice to have more modernized decks that have much more inclusive. I think that's generally where everyone is going now, and I really enjoy it, especially the other different artist depictions of things like that. I find really, really intriguing and fascinating. That was. I'm home by myself with my dog, so yeah. So it's just very pastel-y colors, which is really nice. Chester, please stop. So yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where I was going with that. Since I think it was probably the male man, male woman. But yeah. So it's just different people of color. Very pastel, so it's very nice. It's very soothing to look at. But yeah. And you can tell it's not a reversible back, which I know I don't know if that bothers some people. I don't read reversals, so I'm not there yet. So I don't think of that first when I see a deck, if that's a possibility. Let's see if I can put this back. The next one I have I'm gonna have to get a new copy of. So this one also I got from one of those like tarot marketplaces. This is the Botticelli Golden Tarot. I basically purchased this because of the Birth of Venus is a card. It's the world card. The person didn't have the little white book. It's a little Scarabeo deck. I think I just have to get a new copy because one of my oils, I think how I store my tarot decks isn't really in the beginning because I moved. I think one of my oils had spilled and now it's all sticky a little bit. It's heavily dosed either in white sage or Palo Santo. But anyway, so it's so I have to get a new copy. So I want to get a new copy because I generally I realize I want the book just because it doesn't. I kind of want to see what interpretations using this art would be, or if it's literally the same. Maybe someone can tell me. I don't know. But yeah, the Birth of Venus card is what really drew me in, and I love that it's golden. It just adds a little something extra. But I do love this card. I do love this deck. To look through it. The backs are nothing to write home about. But it's that same style as like the Golden Universal Tarot. So same card, like same width as well. So it's really easy for me to be able to shuffle it. So yeah, so that's why I like it. So I'll probably keep this because I'm sure no one would want. It's heavily dosed in that oil scent, so probably will not have to give that to someone. The next one I have is the Enchanted Tarot. I also got this one secondhand. I have not delved into it yet because I bought it before I moved, and then all this COVID stuff happened, so I really haven't had time to kind of delve into this. I bought it secondhand without really seeing the cards, which is another tip I will give to people, is always ask to see the cards because they're bent a little bit. Some of them are bowed because I think someone was a riffle shuffler, and some of them are not. And they're much larger than what I expected. These are very tall and long. So they're kind of, it's very awkward for me to have, but I love the artwork of it, like the star. I really like it. It's like woven, kind of like a patch woven. I mean, the card itself isn't, but the artwork, I don't know if you'll be able to focus. Yeah, it's not focusing. But maybe there's a better, maybe the strength card. Nope. I'm being that YouTube now who's like, focus. But it looks like a rug. You know, like a rug or one of those European, I have like a coin purse that's like Turkish rug type of thing that is kind of like woven, but it's beautiful, and all the suits are in different, like pentacles are green, the major are in like this lilac-y purple, or actually just more purple. Maybe this is more lilac, I don't know colors. So cups or hearts are in this purple color, and then wands are in yellow, and swords are in blue. But they're huge cards. I was not expecting that. I wasn't expecting a huge box. I don't really know what I was expecting. Obviously, I didn't really do well enough to look into it, but the guidebook is really big. I love a guidebook, to be honest. And it has like the full color photo of it, which is rare in a lot of guidebooks. So it kind of has different things. It has the dream, the awakening, the enchantment, and then a quick read of the message and the outcome. And I really like when guidebooks kind of go in depth like that, because then it makes me think more in depth, and I think can give, you know, really good readings that way. So, but it did come with a nice little, this is the only deck bag I have, and I mean, I think it came with, because this was like the 25th anniversary of it or something. So it wasn't like the original, because I think it went out of print, then maybe came back. I'm not quite sure. I just saw it and I was like, I kind of like that. So yeah, this is the 25th anniversary. This is by Amy Zerner and Monte Farber. And it's really pretty. I think it's really pretty. So my last tarot deck, simple, is probably the newest one in my collection, is probably the one that people have hyped and know about, is the Light Seers Tarot. I have the mass market edition. I didn't get on the whole, like I saw it on Kickstarter and I don't think I was able to jump on the bandwagon due to financial reasons, but also because I think it probably like it became so big for such good reasons. But I want the kicks, like the indie version guidebook, just because it's bigger. But I have the mass market edition. I got it from the Hay House website. They were having a sale around my birthday, so this was like my birthday present to myself, and I got it for half off. So I'm not complaining. So I'm not complaining about that. But I love this guidebook. It has like the Light Seer, which is if it's upright, then the Shadow Seer, which is reversal. Then it has a really good paragraph about, you know, the card and everything, and then it has a great kind of affirmation at the end. And it's just so really uplifting, and it's so colorful, and it makes me happy. So it's just a really great deck. So it doesn't have like the green tealish gilding or like the edging on the side that the original indie version has. So I might do that myself. Why not? Let's be crafty up in here. It's quarantine. So it has this great backs. The cardstock, I don't really know. It's cardboardy. I don't really know anything about cardstock. So, but the colors of it are just so great. I'm not gonna like go in depth with this. Love that death card. I think the death card is my favorite card in the whole tarot, I think. But that Ace of Wands is really pretty. It just draws you in the readings. That, like, it still has like that kind of Rider-Waite imagery to it, but modernized. There's so many different types of people in here, and it's just so great, so uplifting, and it just really has, I think, the card that really like literally tugs at my heartstrings, because it is that kind of card. The Three of Swords is really one that oh goodness, where are you? When I saw it, it just was like, oh my god. It really got me, because Three of Swords and like the original Rider-Waite deck, it doesn't really evoke a lot of, like, I know the meaning behind it, but it doesn't evoke that kind of emotion that it's about. Goodness, where are you? But when I saw her Three of Swords, I was like, that's the emotion. Like, that's how I would feel. But side note, this Nine of Cups is like really attractive. Is he real? Like, can he be real? I have a boyfriend, but can he be real? But that was a sidetrack, sorry. But yeah, oh, here it is. Like, this is like, when I see like the like, this is the kind of emotion that like the Three of Swords in the Rider-Waite Smith decks is like supposed to make me feel, I feel like, but it doesn't really get depicted like that. It's just three swords piercing through a heart. But this one is like, there's a lot to unpack. Like, there's like three little swords to kind of give it that, and then the heart. But it's the emotion behind it is just, it's a lot. It's a lot. And it moved me to a way where, like, I've never had a card move me like that. I don't know. So when I saw all of this, rather, like, the whole color part of it really got to me because it's very eye-catching. But that really stuck out to me, and I was like, oh, I need this deck. So I couldn't hop on the whole train and get the indie version, and then people were selling theirs for, like, my rent money, kind of money. So I couldn't afford that. So luckily it became a mass market edition. It became, got picked up by Hay House. So I'm very happy I was able to get a copy, even though it's not that big old copy, but that's okay. So the next 5 math is hard, I can't read, decks are my Oracle decks. So I only have 5 Oracle decks. 2 of them, 4, okay, so we'll just cut that out. So I have 2 of Doreen Virtue decks. I have the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. I love these cards, and I love this. I love the guidebook itself. I think her guidebooks are really great. I know she doesn't do tarot and stuff like that, whatever. But the guidebook for this is really great. It's my favorite. Mostly, I think the thing that I love about it the most is that after each of like the keyword, the kind of affirmation of the card, the paragraph of like the message that the goddess is giving, and then various meanings of the card. And then at the bottom it talks about the goddess themselves. It talks about like how they became about and like their kind of background story. But it also gives you, this is just me, little things I love, how to pronounce it. I think more, especially with goddesses and goddesses of different like regions, different backgrounds when it comes to, I guess, spiritually, religiously, things like that. If you could have like the pronunciation of how to pronounce the goddess's name, that would be really helpful. Because I'm really bad. Because how I would think I would pronounce some of these, I'm like, oh, I look at that and I'm like, I didn't get that. So these are the backs, pretty good gilding, and then the goddess. I mean, the artwork isn't like it. You can tell it's dated, but the cards themselves, the guidebook with it, I get really good readings from it. For myself and things like that, because I mostly just read for myself right now as I'm still trying to kind of gain more confidence with tarot and with the meanings and kind of being able to interpret that to other people. So I only really do readings for myself currently, and I kind of post on my Instagram a little bit as well, on my Cardinal Tarot Instagram. But yeah, no, I really love this, and it's wanted me to kind of delve more into goddesses. So I'm kind of trying to accumulate more goddess oracle decks and go from there, because I really, really like this deck. So have that one. The next one I have is the Romance Angels Oracle cards. This one is out of print. You can get it for rent money plus more type of thing. Love the guidebook. Like I said, I just really love her guidebooks. I got this one secondhand, and this is the most expensive Oracle deck I've paid for. It's not the most expensive deck. One of the decks that I backed was really expensive just because it had to convert into pounds, and then plus shipping made it more expensive. That was the Solaris Tarot, so I'm really excited to get that, and I'll do a whole like unboxing thing. But yeah, so this came used, but I mean it's still in good condition. There was only one card that had like a little rip, and I think that's how I got it for like less than what most people are selling it for, which I will take. I just put masking, I put like Scotch tape over it. Oh, here it is. It was kind of ripped, and it was like kind of coming off, but I didn't want it to come off completely, so I just put it down, and I put a little tape over it. I don't plan on ever selling this because I really love this deck. So that's why I decided to tape it. But yeah, so I just really love that. Love this deck. Yeah, I can do a whole thing about it, but it's one of those, it's been around for so long and it's out of print that I'm sure there's places. Then the next two decks are by Gabrielle Bernstein, her affirmation decks. I love these. I absolutely love these. These are so positive and uplifting. I want to read her books, but her decks, so this is The Universe Has Your Back, so it has the little golden moon in it, I'm assuming. Yeah, I'll go with moon because that's on the front. But it has like those kind of leaves, flowers, but I love watercolor. So when I saw that this was kind of a lots of watercolor, I really was excited about it, and I just love the phrases on them. They're really great for the morning, you know, starting my day, kind of shuffle and pull a card. These are all upside down, so that's really fun. But it has like that nice matte finishing, really nice to shuffle. But these are just great, like to put on your altar, to kind of pull a card every morning, you know, things like that. So they're just really great and positive. So that was The Universe Has Your Back. And then I have the Super Attractor. I got this one the same time that I got the Light Seers because they were both on sale. So I got this for $11. Love a good deal. And this is her new one. She has a new one coming out in September or October. I saw the pre-order for it, so I'm gonna have to pre-order it. It's called Spirit Junkie. So I'm excited this is the card that I pulled today. So it says, my ability to receive is measured by how much I practice good feeling thoughts. So, but I just love the watercolor again. So this one has like the kind of pink moon. These are all upright. But once again, the same Micaela Ezra's art is really, really pretty. That is upside down. Okay, a lot of these are upside down. But I haven't really gotten through all of the cards, but yeah, I just really, really love this. Love her decks, love her stuff. I want to read her books. That's like on my next to-do list. And then my last deck, Oracle deck, is my first Oracle deck, so that's kind of funny, is the Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. And artwork is by Danielle Noel. And so I love this deck. I love the guidebook. Pastels. It's so peaceful. And it has really great readings with it. The backs. Like I said, this is another mass market edition. I got this at a local metaphysical shop. Can't wait to go back there and purchase from them because they haven't been open during this time. So, and they don't have an online shop, unfortunately. But yeah, I got this from there, and I can't wait to go back to get more. But I just love this pastel kind of mixed media, like photo collage-esque art. I don't like it all. I like it, and I'm really particular about it, I guess I should say, because there are some decks that it's mixed media or kind of photo collage-y that I'm not super drawn to, but this works for me. So love this deck, love these cards, and I want to get Danielle Noel's Moonchild Tarot, and I think Rebecca Campbell also came out with the Starseed, and I want to get that Oracle deck as well. So those are on, I have a huge, this quarantine is just, my wish list has gone up quite a bit through this quarantine. So pray for my wallet. But yeah, so that is my tarot collection as of, it's May, oh my gosh, as of May 2020. It's weird to say that because it hasn't felt like, have we even lived this year? Let's be real. But that is my deck as of now, my deck collection. So that is tarot and oracle. It wasn't big enough to split into 2 different videos, so I'm just gonna combine them into one. So yeah, and then once I get new decks in, I plan on doing kind of unboxing videos with those decks. And then, you know, I don't know how often I'll do a updated tarot deck and stuff like that videos, but I plan on just kind of doing like a starter since I don't have a huge collection right now. But once I get new decks in, I will do more like of a walkthrough review-esque type of video. Even though a lot of the ones I've been ordering have been out for so long, so it's like I feel like I'm playing catch up a little bit when it comes to decks, but that's okay. That's totally fine with me. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoy. Oh my god, I've been talking for too long. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If you stuck through this whole thing, I'm sure a lot of people have seen these cards before. They've all been out for quite a while, so I don't really have anything like super indie or super, you know, rare type of thing. But yeah, really thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.